This is a pretty interesting article because the sealed dossiers coming out. So it says Christopher Steele, the British ex-spy who authored an unverified Trump dossier, Russian dossier, has reportedly backed out of a scheduled appearance on the pro-democracy conference in Baltimore next week. It's because he doesn't want to step foot in the United States. The planned appearance by video on March 14th would have been Steele's first public appearance since the dossier was first published in January 2017 by BuzzFeed, according to Politico. The former MI6 officer was set to speak about disinformation about the reawakening the spirit of the democracy conference on a panel moderated by the Washington Post columnist Ann Applebaum, Politico reported. Mccain Associated shared unverified Steele dossier with BuzzFeed, court filing says. Applebaum said Steele had gotten cold feet and backed out of the event last week on the advice of counsel. The report said Steele's private intelligence firm, Orbis, did not immediately return Fox News' request for comment. The so-called Steele dossier was compiled by the Washington research firm Fusion GPS and commissioned by Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign and the Democratic National Committee, purports to provide conclusive evidence of ties between Trump and Russia. The dossier's credibility came under question, however, after Yahoo News investigative reporter, who was among the first to break the news of his existence, said many of the claims were likely false. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Documents newly unsealed Thursday in a case involving a Russian entrepreneur and anti-Trump dossier author Christopher Steele revealed that a tech company owned by the Russian was used to hack DNC Democratic Party leaders. Alexei Gubarev, a businessman who runs companies across the world, claimed his organization Webzilla and XBT Holdings were defamed by Steele after the unverified dossier was published by BuzzFeed on January 10th, 2017. The dossier alleges that Gubarev's companies used botnets and porn traffic to transmit viruses, plant bugs, steal data, and conduct alerting operations against the Democratic Party leadership. The dossier also suggested that Gubarev played a significant part in the operation while under duress from the Russian security agency FSB. British ex-spy Christopher Steele gets cold feet, backs out of the conference report. But the unsealed documents of Thursday include a forensic analysis report by a former top cyber expert in the FBI's cybercrime division that concludes that Gubarev's companies were indeed used by Russian operatives in an effort to hack Democratic Party leaders, New York Times reported. The report notes that businessman companies were often used by criminal groups and Russian agents to carry out various operations, including an attack on Ukraine's power grid in 2015. Yet while the report links Gubarev's companies to Russia's larger efforts to interfere in the 2016 election, it doesn't claim that the businessman or his executives actually participate in the hacking operations. How convenient. You have a host. You have a plant inside of a host company doing the dirty work. Other people get blamed. Gubarev denied the involvement in the hack while his lawyers tried to ensure a report would be kept under seal and inaccessible to the public and the media, but the judge last December refused the request and ordered documents unsealed. Mccain Associated shared unverified dossier with BuzzFeed court filing says. Steele and his company Orbis Business Intelligence was hired by Glenn Simpson's U.S.-based company Fusion GPS to work on the dossier and promote its contents to journalists. Fusion GPS received $1.8 million via the law firm Perkins Cole, with the money paid by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign. A transcript court deposition unsealed Thursday also revealed that associated with the late U.S. Senator John McCain alleged Republican of Arizona, was in contact with multiple journalists and government officials in the effort to disseminate the dossier. Does anybody remember McCain running down the hallway admitting he was the one bringing the dossier? I do. David Kramer, a former State Department official, said in December 13, 2017 deposition that the dossier was provided to journalists at Mccain, NPR, The Washington Post, The Wall Street Journal, BuzzFeed, and CNN's Carl Bernstein, according to the Daily Caller. The report by Steele also shared with State Department officials Victoria Nuland, Obama National Security Council officials Celeste Wallander, and Illinois GOP Rep. Adam Kinzinger. Kramer said the Fusion GPS founder, Glenn Simpson, suggested he would use McCain to pass the dossier around. I think they felt a senior Republican was better to be the recipient of this rather than a Democrat, because if it were a Democrat, I think the view was that it would have been dismissed as a political attack, Kramer said, according to the outlet. How many of you guys remember McCain standing on the Senate floor and glorifying Uma Abedin as what a wonderful, trustworthy person she was? The same woman who's been groomed since she was a little girl, you know, the one that testified about the babies in Iraq being put on the floors out of the incubators. That's the one. You starting to figure it out? That same one said on a podcast when asked, what will you do? Or what would it be like if the emails were released? And she said, I would be mortified. In those same emails, the bride told her brother how much she hates the U.S. And she's only doing it for the greater cause. You know, Islam, Muslim, brotherhood. That's what this was about. Private paramilitaries going into other countries, starting wars, false flags. Doesn't mean people don't die. It just means it's not the country or the person that's being blamed. But you can go ahead and believe in the lone nut virus. I don't. Usually within the first 24 hours, you're going to get all the truth you need. It's right after that they got to do cleanup. But what do I know?